Hey, how's it going? My name is Vic. Welcome to the vlog. This is the DJI Osmo Pocket, which is an incredible camera. It shoots at 4K 60 at 100 megabits per second. Even the low light performance out of this thing is decent. The audio kind of works as well, surprisingly, depending on how you hold it, of course. The face tracking, just kind of everything about the Osmo Pocket is pretty incredible, except there is one big problem with the Osmo Pocket, and besides one or two little complaints in a few forums around the place, I have seen nobody else talking about this because I searched and searched thinking it's just me. Problem is the footage is incredibly difficult to edit. So I use Adobe Premiere constantly, and as soon as I dropped the footage into that, I was like, what's wrong here? Check this out. So this is me editing footage in Adobe Premiere direct from the Osmo Pocket. This is an i7 5960 that I'm using. It's got 64 gigs of RAM. It's got a GeForce 1080 Ti in there. So it's not the most powerful computer in the world. It's not a weakling either. And it runs perfectly well for other 4K footage. Look at me doing anything here with DJI Mavic stuff. Yes, it's 60 megabits per second, but it's fine. And even what I'm shooting this on now is 4K 30, 100 megabits per second from the Sony RX100 Mark V, and that works fine. In comparison, the DJI Osmo Pocket footage is just a pain. I even tried it on a 2008 MacBook thinking, okay, maybe a MacBook might have a bit more oomph, even though I knew that can't be right compared to what I have. And on the MacBook, it was completely unusable. It was one of the most frustrating experiences I've ever had editing, and I've had a few. I'm left to believe that it is the codec, whether it's a DJI problem or whether it's an Adobe Premiere problem. I don't know. I don't use Final Cut, so I have no experience with working on Final Cut for this. But whether somebody needs to update their codec or a Premiere needs to look at how they handle the codec, it's not that heavy of a codec on the outside. It's 100 megabits per second. It uses on the 4K profile, it's 5.2, so it's an AVC high profile 5.2. Whether that's an issue for Premiere to handle, I possibly think it might be. Then in comparison, the 1080p footage, I can work on that absolutely with zero problem whatsoever. Again, that's a high profile, it's AVC, but it's only on the 4.0 profile. So you know what? I don't want to shoot 1080p. If I've got this thing and I want to shoot 4K, I want to shoot 4K for a reason, as I'm sure most people will go, why would you want to shoot 1080p? So it's just a huge pain in the neck. So what's the solution to all of this? Number one, you can get your DJI Osmo Pocket and just toss it, which we won't be doing because it's a really capable camera. The other option is Adobe, for example, can update Premiere and they can handle the codec a little bit better by an update within the software itself. They have done this in the past for other codecs. The other option is DJI, which is probably the best option, can start working via firmware on their codec and their container and how it handles everything. That's probably the easiest option to work with. And the other option, which is something I don't really want to do because I don't see why I should have to do it, because I don't have to do it with any of the other footage I shoot, and that is make proxies. Make proxies in Premiere and work that way. Alternatively, if you don't want to do proxies, you can convert it to something else, maybe ProRes or whatever, and you can work from there. Either way, that's not my preferred option to do that, because as I said, I don't see why I should have to do that when I can handle 100 megabits absolutely fine. So it is a codec issue. I think that's quite obvious now. DJI, Adobe, somebody, and you know, like if you're a Final Cut user, for example, or if you use other software to edit, let me know in the comments how you find the Osmo Pocket footage. Is it specifically an Adobe issue, or is it uniform right across the board? No matter what editor that you're using, the codec is just too unoptimized. It's just too heavy to work with in any capacity. My name is Vic. Thank you for watching. I'd love to have a bit more of a positive vibe about this, and because this camera is so good. It is so good. I genuinely love this camera and what it's capable of doing, but editing the footage, I mean, this is really geared at vloggers. Vloggers always try and have a quick turnaround, and this is just painstaking to work with, really. So let me know if you've used the Osmo Pocket. Let me know how you're finding the footage. Let me know the specs of your computer, whatever you got, in the comments below. And maybe you found a solution that's not something that I've suggested. Let me know in the comments, because I need a solution besides proxies. Anyway, Subscribe button is right out there. If you found this video useful, that would be awesome if you would hit the subscribe button. And I'm losing my ability to speak. So we will see you in the next episode of the vlog. And until then, don't stop fighting for yourself.